Welcome to the Pain Train. I'm Derek. That's Mitchell. We got a special guest. Last week, Mitch, we talked about dreams.
We did, and we talked about how
Well,
we're going to talk about dreams
That's
next
what we
week.
talked about. We talked about talking about dreams, didn't we?
Talked about
Yeah.
Yeah, and
future.
then I talked about my son Jacob, who keeps a dream journal.
My cousin, your son.
Yep. And guess who we have in the studio?
Not
what's
Jacob.
up,
Not
everybody?
Jacob, man. We've got him on the
Some
line,
other
though.
dude.
Jacob Hutchison, all the way from an undisclosed location in
Southern United States.
in the southern United States.
In the South. I'm actually in a trailer as well.
You're in a trailer as well. Man, we've never said we were in a trailer.
You just ruined
You
it.
just ruined it. We
well,
are.
you know, there's all kinds of different trailers that exist
We do
in
want to
this
put.
world, man.
That's right. We
You can
want
be in
to.
any kind of trailer.
We want to put one caveat here. If on this video, audio on YouTube, if you happen to hear what you think are rabid chickens, they're
They
not.
are.
They're not.
No,
not.
they're actually dinosaurs that are.
They are. They are actually
They
like
are kind of-
dinosaurs.
They're
Where-
legit,
Where
like, crazy animals.
where we are at, there's these
A wild
this,
pack of guineas
Oh, a
taking
wi-
over the United States.
There's this wild pack of rabid guineas roaming the streets
Roaming the streets.
and the forest that we live in.
And they are.
Aggressive.
Do a
They're
second.
aggressive.
Just a second. Open up the door. See if the guineas, real quick.
They'll just flood in and destroy, take over the podcast and call it their own.
Oh yeah, man, they're getting nasty.
Are they nasty
Yeah,
out there?
They start getting hungry around 8 o'clock.
Yeah, they're getting bad. They're getting bad. So if on this YouTube video you happen to hear a rabid pack of guineas, they are not taking over the United States. However,
They
they're good. They're
are
crazy.
probably stalking our trailer.
They
Well,
are.
they'll cut you.
They
They'll cut you
will,
for
they
sure.
will. They will. They are just something
I would like
else.
to talk about something very serious. The
Wild guineas.
wild guineas taking over major cities in America.
That's exactly right. Hey, little background on Jacob here. Jacob is not new to the podcast world. Some of you might remember Solomon Hutch from, golly, how many years ago has it been?
You guys
That
did that.
was
6 years ago?
7 years ago.
7
6 or
years
7
ago.
years ago.
Man, you both are old.
If you want to hear something
Are.
good, just go into YouTube and Google, or just type in YouTube Solomon
Hey,
Hutch.
I didn't agree with the plug.
That's okay. We're in
You
a
didn't- you
we're in a
didn't-
commercial break right now.
You didn't
Plugs
discuss
will
that.
be plugged, man. You just
Plugs
gotta
will be
roll
plugged.
with
You
it.
didn't discuss that with me before
That's
the show.
exactly
No.
right.
Plugged for a past show that doesn't exist anymore.
And after you're done typing in Solomon Hutch, go in and just Google real quick for all your vintage needs. Just type in Etsy.com/Teach Pray Love 1989. Anything that you want that's vintage, like you'll find it there. Just go in Etsy.com.
Antiques, vintage, cool, Pillsbury Doughboy. They've got
Ooh.
it.
They've got it. We have got it. If you were looking for that toy that you played with back in the 1970s, you're pretty old to be listening to this podcast.
People are just going to be like, so this podcast is about ghosts and antiques
Exactly.
and other people's podcasts?
Anything
What?
anything that's old.
I got to think of something else to plug, too.
Do want to before we get started though, we do want to talk about that real quick. Mitch and I have discussed this. A plan is in the making. Do we want to tell them a little bit about the plan that we talked about, our trip that we might go on here
Ooh.
in a couple weeks?
Sure, absolutely.
We're thinking about it. I'm
What was that trip again?
I-
forgot already.
I'm the
We're thinking
person.
about it, and I forgot about it already.
I am the person who is probably the most hesitant
Oh, yeah.
about this trip.
I'm really excited because I am a huge Bigfoot fan.
We are thinking about going up and doing a Bigfoot
Investigation.
excursion, you would
Hunt.
call it.
Ooh.
I'm trying to do. I'm trying
I
to.
guess
See,
we wouldn't call it a hunt because we're not looking to shoot the big hairy ape.
no. But one of the things that we do here is we do look at the paranormal, anything that's, and probably Bigfoot's at the top of the list
He's up there.
for that.
Do you think he's number one?
Yes, he's probably number one. Well, besides the ghost hunting and everything, but I think he is probably number one.
Yeah.
But it just so
he
happens,
deserves it.
It just so happens, just not to give our location away, it just so happens, though, we are fairly close to a spot where a recent Bigfoot sexual assault took place.
I
A
had
Bigfoot-
not heard of this.
A Bigfoot molestation.
You
for those
made
of
that up.
no,
that is not real.
No,
we're,
for
we're not
those-
making this up. We got this straight off the onion.
yeah, right off the
Straight
onion.
off
man.
the onion. Were the
got-
guineas involved too?
The guineas
That's
were
terrible.
involved. This is not to give it away, but obviously people can figure out that we're probably somewhere in the state of Colorado.
Yeah.
We're somewhere in the state of Colorado, and
Where
if you
all crazy things happen.
if you go in and Google Cripple Creek, Colorado, sexual assault by a Bigfoot, bam, you will get it.
It'll happen.
Yeah,
It
and you know
seems
what?
like a crazy thing to Google, and it is, but I
You know-
guess something will pop up.
Probably don't want to do it around your parents.
You know what?
Or your grandparents.
Or your grandparents.
Cripple Creek You know what? I'm doing it right now.
Just be safe. Don't Google it around anybody. You know. Who
Sexual
knows?
assault by Bigfoot. All right? Let's see what comes up. Are you ready? Oh. This is on Snopes. There's a rumor. We don't even want to look at Snopes because if it says that it was
Sasquatch tracks found near Cripple Creek.
Yep.
Man, I
got it. So
that is-
anyway,
oh.
that's where we're headed. We're headed up by Pancake Rock. Everybody knows Pancake Rock. Jake knows Pancake Rock.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to Pancake Rock. There's no way I'm doing that again. But we're going to go up there somewhere around
Pancakes.
Cripple Creek. We're going to find some woods. And
There's got to be national forest somewhere out
it has
there.
to
yeah.
be that we're allowed to. I am pushing to do it in the day
I'm pushing to do it in the night.
because I just have to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm scared.
Night or nothing, man. That's where Bigfoot's
He's not gonna.
thrive.
You know.
In the night. You got to do it in the night.
You got him. I'm going to take you down there for a second, Jake. Yep, we're still recording.
It sets some kind of ambiance if we do it in the night.
Anyway, be looking for that. That should be fun. Last week we said we were going to talk about dreams, and so we shall. You like that, didn't you? And so we shall.
So we shall.
That's what we're talking about this week on the Pain Train. We're talking about dreams. Mitchell has a word that he has been throwing around.
Ooh, what is it, man?
Precognition.
Ooh,
Now,
I like it.
let me ask you this question right now. When you hear that word, what's the first thing you think of? Precognition. Come
Well,
on. man.
I think of being able to see the future, almost like that one. What was that movie with Tom Cruise?
That's what you should be thinking of. Minority
Yeah, the
Report.
Yeah.
Minority Report.
Because what were the three called? They were called precogs.
Yeah.
That's what they were
They're
called.
called
Wait,
precogs.
what was
Yeah, they
this?
could see the future.
Minority Report. Have you ever seen it?
Nope.
Oh,
Never
dude, let me
seen it.
tell you about it because
Have you ever seen a movie?
have you ever seen a movie?
Talladega Nights. That's it.
That's
You
the
know,
only,
I
that's
watch
fine.
that movie on repeat probably every night.
So Minority
Every day.
Report is this. It's in the future, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they have gotten to the point where the police can come and arrest you for a crime you haven't committed yet, but you were
Classic.
going to.
Classic. Yeah.
And the way
'Cause
they
can
did
see
it,
the future.
that what happens is they have three people that are like suspended in this water down there, and they've got them all hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
And all they do is they're called precogs, and all they do is see the future.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And so-
apparently you can't see the future if you're not like
Suspended
half
in water.
drowning in water.
That's exactly right. They're called,
Nobody reads the future dry.
and where they have them is this big glass thing. Nobody's allowed to touch them. It's called the temple,
Uh huh.
and it comes up on the screen. They see a murder that is going to take place.
Uh huh.
They get, I think it's called a red ball. It's a red
Yeah,
ball that
red or
shoots down,
brown,
red or
yeah.
brown, and it rolls down. They get it, and then they get pieces of what the precogs see.
Uh huh.
So they're trying their fast because they're like, when does this happen? Oh,
Yeah.
12 minutes from now. So they take all the pieces of the dream
Uh huh.
and they're trying to figure out where this is going to happen, and then they go and arrest you before you did it because you were going to do it.
Huh.
You were going to do it. That's what you think about. But that's what the reason I say that is because I want to pull this in. Is
See,
this
I
whole
think
idea of pieces of dreams?
The Avengers did the same thing, but it was more like an algorithm, or not the Avengers. I think that was a Captain America movie, was it not?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it was.
I don't know. That doesn't sound like any of the Avengers I've seen.
Wasn't there a Captain?
I've only seen Talladega Nights, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
That's it. That's all I've seen. No, he did it. He did it. I can't believe it. So yes, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Were these pieces of dreams? Now, I want to talk about this phenomenon that is happening, and I'm wondering. I think everybody. I don't know, Mitch, if you've had it. We haven't talked about it. I sat and I talked with your parents. I talked with Christine. I've talked. There seems to be this dream that has been thrust upon people now, that you are trying your hardest in your dream to dial your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't.
Yeah.
Now my question is, what in the world does that have to do with anything? So here's what.
Well, a lot of people's answers is probably a lot of people's answer is probably insecurities and
It has to do with insecurities. It
and
has
stress, and that's like the go-to. What does my dream mean?
So I went in and I Googled that and found out, a bunch of probably easy stuff that you would think of. You're having trouble communicating with somebody. And I'm thinking, really? Is that what the brain does? I'm having trouble talking to my wife, so I have a dream that I can't dial my phone.
So you actually went and asked people
Yes.
if they'd had this dream?
Yes.
How many?
Every person that I've-
percentage?
100% of the people.
100%.
And
dialing phone.
some of them, it wasn't even prompted. Just tell me about a
Oh, okay.
recurring dream that you have. A recurring dream that I have. It used to be, I'm naked in school. I can't find my class. I've just realized I haven't gone there for 3 months. I get to my locker. I can't remember my combination.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it used to be. Now, if you ask people, tell me a recurring dream that you have, they'll say, I'm trying to call somebody. It's an emergency, and I can't dial my phone. I try, but I can't.
I always thought that was so interesting that, if you talk about, why we have dreams, all those theories, right? You guys were talking about that. Like, what do our dreams do? But, like, I just think it's funny that if you are, let's just go with, hey, I'm stressed and I'm having a dream about being stressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That your brain, instead of trying to figure out, like make that better,
Mm-hmm.
it just puts you through that stress more.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stressed, so
It's almost
you're
like-
just going to be stressed in your dream.
It's almost like
Exactly.
your feeling, your emotion of
Mhm.
stress takes over when you go to sleep.
That's exactly right. Like all the things you've been holding back, all the things that you've been keeping deep down inside, somehow when your body says, okay, it's time to relax, your brain's like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
We're going to work
Yeah.
on this, people.
Yeah.
And so,
Because,
We're putting in some overtime.
but what I don't understand is, why doesn't the brain, we always hear this about the brain. We talk about this about the paranormal all the time, that whole idea of matrixing, of all of the things that we see
Uh-huh.
and we think are one thing, but it's just our brain saying, I don't know what I'm looking at.
So it's trying to
So
decipher
I'm
what it is.
gonna make it into something that I
Mhm.
know. So why, if your brain does that, if your brain is constantly trying to make it easier on you, why is it that if I'm having trouble talking to my wife and I'm stressed out about that, why don't I just have a bad dream about me not being able to talk with my wife?
Yeah.
Why is it
Why
always
does it
like
gotta be
I
this-
can't dial a phone because a pink
this weird
bunny
cryptic
is
thing?
chasing me?
Yeah.
Why does it do that? And why does our brain take these things and make these fantastical things in our dreams of I had a giant snake. We had a comment from, because we had asked people to comment, and we had one from Jacob King, that said he had this dream. I can't remember what kind of insect, but there's a giant insect that's trying to either eat him or attack him and everything. Why does the brain take that and say, I'm going to, and oh man, if I could pull out the SAT word, I would. What is it? Jake, you would know this. Not that you wouldn't, Mitch.
I was going to think of a word, but let me see if I'm thinking of the same word.
It's
premonition?
No, premonition?
Extrapolate?
Extrapolate's a good word too. Premonition, also another great movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody... No,
this podcast is also about vocabulary, which
absolutely
I love.
It's about vocabulary. No, this is the whole idea of it's a word that I'm trying to think of, that they are objects that appear almost human.
Oh.
Humanoid?
No, not humanoid, but it's like something's
Leave
wrong.
a comment below. See what word are we talking about?
Do you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
I know.
Almost like a puppet.
Personification.
Kind of like a personification.
Personification is when you
Stop saying that word. That's not it.
That's what it is. That's what you want.
2 words. It's a jackal. Jackal.
No. It is this thing that you look at and you say, that's almost right. Something's off.
Uncanny.
It's not, anyway, I'm going to come up with that word. But that's what it seems to be like in dreams.
Like a made-up word.
No, dude, this is not a made-up word. If we ever take a break,
I'm gonna get
that word, man. I'm gonna get that word. If you know what that word is, put it down in the comments. Put it down in the comments for us. But I'm gonna come up with that word because I'm gonna Google it or something. But it seems like dreams are like that. I don't know why our brain decides, I'm gonna make this the weirdest thing ever, and so that's what our brain does. So to me, there's these two different sections.
Yeah.
These crazy, fantastical dreams of, I can fly. I was talking to my wife, and I said, "What's one of the ones that you do?"
Well, sometimes sensations have something to do with it also, because if you're getting way too overheated in bed, in this trailer, it's starting to get hot. It's starting to get really hot.
Yeah. But we're gonna fight through it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not as bad as a garage.
No, it's not as bad as a garage. But
I feel fine.
I bet you do. You're sitting in your.
My trailer is air conditioned.
No, I think you're right. I think there is that whole idea of the environment that you're sleeping in. One of the things that I do all the time, and I was talking about this with people, I can't. Or not that I can't. I have trouble falling asleep. If there isn't white noise somewhere, if the TV isn't on. But when I fall asleep, I will have dreams about what I'm hearing
on the TV.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Do you do that?
Me too.
Yeah. So it must be that, and we hear that in coma patients and all that. The whole idea of the brain, I'm still hearing things. The brain's still at work, and it's taking whatever input it can get. And now it's saying, okay, I'm going to maybe have a dream. That's one of the things that I looked up and I'll throw this out to the two of you then.
Hold on. Shh. You hear that?
What is that? Is it a guinea?
Guineas are close.
Are the guineas close?
Smell them.
Guineas are close.
They're closing in on us.
Scented.
Why then, I'll throw it out to the two of you, why then why do we have to dream? I know this from watching Star Trek. If we don't, we'll go crazy. That's a personal thing for everybody who loves Star Trek. I love that episode. We have to go into what's called REM sleep. We have to dream. But why?
Yeah, truly, I don't know. There are probably smarter people out there who study those things all the time. But
I'm just going to search. I have a game for us, by the way.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, we
have
have
a really
cool
game.
There are people who talk about like, I've ran into people who say, "Oh, I don't dream," and that's fine, but your brain is going through that REM sleep, and your brain is going through those chemical processes, and how we're never truly like stopped.
Yeah,
like,
that brain.
If we are, we're dead.
Yeah, the brain really doesn't shut down.
I just typed into Google.
Why do we dream?
do we need to dream?
What did Google say? Because
And
Google knows everything.
I know
Yeah.
it. You know, I can ask Google who my next wife's going to be, and it'll tell me.
Professor
Google will know.
right there.
That's right.
So some researchers say dreams have no purpose. Just making sure I pressed record on the GoPro. You looked at the GoPro.
I did. That's the first thing I thought of.
Some researchers say dreams have no purpose or meaning.
Yeah.
Others say we need dreams for our mental, emotional, physical, and health.
Yeah.
Studies have looked into the importance of dreams to our health and well-being. In one study, researchers woke people just as they were going to REM sleep.
Yes. And that's the whole thing, isn't it? It's that whole idea of having to go into REM sleep. So then I want to break it down then into if we have to dream, and evidently we do, because the body says we do, or the body does it because the body seems to do what it needs to do.
Sometimes it almost feels like, and I bet you this is somewhat accurate, but I'm just spitballing this here.
Okay.
Spitball it.
So I'm going to say like maybe 65% accurate.
Yeah.
Let's say 55% rooted in actual fact.
Exactly.
Your brain can also be warning you of
Okay.
potential dangers. Because I read an article 2 days ago
Yeah.
about he dreamed about he was cut in half
Okay.
and he couldn't find his legs.
Yeah.
And so he woke up and there was this pain in his stomach.
Yeah.
And the next day he went to the hospital and it turns out his liver was no good.
I just read an article today about a precognitive neuropsychologist or neuroscientist, neurologist, whatever you want.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, that actually does studies on precognition because of a precognitive
dreaming
event that she went through that saved her and her husband and her family through a fire. And so being a neuroscientist, this happens to her, and the first thing she thinks of is, I've got to figure this out. And this article says all of us have precognitive abilities. And so the study then goes on to figure out how and why does that happen.
Right.
How is it? Go ahead.
No, sorry. So that begs a question just in general, like, do you think that it is wise to study your do you think everyone should study their dreams for that?
Absolutely not, because
okay.
I'm thinking no, because as Freud said, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
But on the off chance that
it's on the off chance that
something really cool
that it is. Well, here's the thing, though, and this goes into all paranormal that we've talked about.
Who did you say said that?
Right.
For Sigmund Freud. And he came up. He wrote a thing called the Interpretation of Dreams, and Freud's idea was that dreams were for the mental health and the way that the psyche. There's the ego, there's the id. The psyche part of our brain heals itself, how it works out the problems that it has, and that he said there was a clear way of interpreting some dreams. But then he went on to say sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, because most of Sigmund Freud's dream interpretations had to do with eroticism and those types of things.
I don't know what that means.
Eroticism, sexual dreams. And so hence the cigar comment. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. But my problem would be, like we had talked about with the paranormal, if I were to study every one of my dreams and look for precognition in every one of them, if every time I had a dream, I wrote them down, which we'll get to with Jacob here, and then studied each one of them, seeking to find a future event or something that I was supposed to learn from that for future reference, how many times am I going to nail that? And how many times am I going to either stop something that I should be doing or start something that I shouldn't be doing because I interpreted the giant bunny to mean that Easter is bad. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if I were to look at every dream in a precognitive way, wouldn't it drive me crazy?
I think if you were constantly searching for that standout in a dream that's going to give you this premonition,
premonition. Gotta say premonition.
Premonition.
Yeah, a promenation is something else. I don't even know what a promenation is.
Oh, then I'm saying it right.
Premonition.
Premonition.
There you go. Premonition. Bingo. A premonition is the idea that I see something that's going to happen.
If you're constantly searching your dreams for that, it's almost gonna, make you go nuts because you see this man blowing up, and then you go in public and you're like, where's this man? Someone's gonna blow up.
Yeah, but I can tell you this from personal experience and from just the articles that I've read. Once you've had a dream that did happen come about in the future, it's very hard to look at dreams differently than that.
Yeah.
It's that whole idea. And so that's kind of what I want to take you guys into this way. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being never, 10 being always, every single thing complete, how much of your dreams do you remember on a nightly basis? The majority of your dreams, are they a 1? After I wake up, I don't remember any of it.
Right.
10,
like, what's the time frame you giving me here? Like,
well,
in the morning, I can remember a solid 6.
6?
6. But once I'm like right now,
Do you remember what you dreamt about last night?
No, absolutely not.
Do you remember, Jacob?
No, but that goes into other things about why I write them down. And I actually looked at one, and I don't remember writing it down at all.
So the question is,
Jake,
in fact, the majority of these I don't remember writing down at all. So
what a lot of people don't know is Jake has a special talent.
He does have an incredible talent.
I don't know how he can do this because
one special talent.
Once I'm asleep, I'm a goner. I am done. I know you have to throw me in a hot volcano to wake me up.
Yeah.
Jacob can wake up in the middle of a dream, write down what he is seeing in his dream, and then go back to sleep almost at an instant.
So one of my questions that I have, because I know you did that as you growing up. So one of the questions that I've always wanted to know and I've never asked is this. Do you wake yourself up from the dream to write it down? Or does the dream wake you up and then you're like, I'm going to write that down?
No, it's always hey, I just woke up from my dream and I know I'm going to forget it, so I'm going to write it down.
Okay, so
I don't know if I've ever woken myself up. I have woken myself up from a dream, but it's usually just wake up and I write it down.
Papa can do that.
Yeah?
I
can wake himself up
from a dream.
From a dream?
Yeah.
So I've had those dreams. I've had those dreams too that I've heard get up.
Yeah.
I mean, wake up.
Yeah.
But
most of mine are just from one of my parents yelling at me.
I know it. I mean, and it isn't somebody else just telling me to get up. It's within the dream. Get up, wake up. You got to wake up. You got to wake up, and then you wake up. So you wake up and you write them down. Now you started doing this when you were how old?
Oh, probably a junior in high school.
And we talked about this off air after last week's podcast, and had a lot of laughs at your expense.
All the weird stuff. Sleep is a strange time for me.
What people need to know who are watching on YouTube. By the way, thank you for watching our Pain Train channel YouTube. We want to throw this in that if you want to get a hold of us, you just take a ride on the Pain Train at gmail.com, or you can just leave us a comment below the video.
Slap that like button too.
Slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell so you'll get you'll know when the new episodes come out. But one of the things that people who are listening need to know about Jacob is that Jacob had the ability to fall asleep just wherever he was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I still do actually.
As a kid, we would. My wife and I would even think about, okay, do we wake him up? Do we not? He would fall asleep on the floor. My wife even reminded me that she remembers one time that he just fell asleep on the stairs.
Oh yeah, I remember falling asleep on the stairs.
And here was the thing about Jacob of just trying to.
There's more. There's so many stories. Oh my gosh.
When you would try to wake him up,
fell asleep in the fern.
Yeah. When you would try and wake him up, he's very much like his mother in that fact of, like for example, my wife. If you were to just open the door and say, Christine, and just go up and just touch her arm very lightly, she would come ripping up as if you had just hit her with a business end of a tube, just
it's
bam!
This right here,
like a sock full of butter.
Yeah,
It's definitely this, okay? And I think it's interesting because this is what your body tells you to do when you are woken up from a deep sleep, okay? So get ready for this. It's just like
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like a really huge inhale. Like your body just tells you. I think it is a thing of like you inhale a lot of oxygen because you need to like fight someone. Right
exactly.
now.
It's almost a fight or flight. But
I don't know.
It is this thing of I have just woken her up from a sleep.
Instant anger.
She turns as if whatever happened was just my fault. And Jacob was like that. Of course, Jacob's hair would be all up and his eyeballs would shoot out. And
it's really wide.
I can remember the dream when your arm fell asleep.
That's probably the biggest one. And here's where
dreams tell the people who are listening though exactly what happened with that dream.
I don't know if y'all have ever had this. Okay, me and my wife refer to it as as sleepy time. Okay, so you're like in this weird like. And I would love to see more research on it, but you're in sleepy time. And you're not 100% asleep, but you're not actually awake either.
Right.
So you're in that between. And I can't remember how old I was. I think I was in high school, but I was in that state and I rolled over and my hand was asleep. So I had fallen asleep on my arm and I rolled over. And it hit me in the face. Okay, so I roll over and it does that, right? And in the sleepy time, I think this is the number one thing, and I think it's an evolutionary thing because it's just like instant danger. You're in danger right now, and I think, oh my gosh, someone's in my room and they're trying to kidnap me.
And so what they did was grab my face.
And what they did, they're grabbing my face. And thank you, brain, for protecting me, but you got it really wrong this time. And I hopped up and I ran out just like straight down the stairs, out of my room, down the stairs with my arm trailing behind me.
And so
very, very scared.
And so we get back to that whole idea of being awoken. And so you would, for some reason, and it would be interesting because I don't know the answer to this, what made you think, hey, I'm going to write that down.
What?
I just had a dream about a giant peanut that tried to eat me. I'm writing that down.
What does it mean?
Yeah, what does it mean? So why did you start writing them down?
Yeah, it really wasn't to find meaning in them. It's because I just thought that I did it once, and I thought it was really funny that I couldn't remember writing it down. And I just kept writing them down because when I would read them later, I thought they were super funny.
Do you have some?
Because I have so many.
I want to hear. We want to hear one.
And I think that's great because like it's almost like dreams are the conversation that you could just go to in a party and just be like, hey, who's had some funny dreams? And everybody has story about dreams.
Sure. Yeah. It's the commonality or the common thread that runs through.
Before we play this game that I have.
Yes.
Jake, tell us one of those dreams.
Yeah. You got one.
Oh, I've got so many, and they all range from, and I started doing it after I saw you guys' last.
Do you have
podcast.
the infamous dream journal on you?
I do. It's right here. It's on my phone. Very old notes. I kept it up. So some of these are newer. I had stopped doing it for a while.
Yeah.
But So there's a big gap in it, but I started doing it like 2 weeks ago again.
Yeah.
And so my newest one in here, I have a friend named Daniel. Okay, it's just one sentence on here, my most recent dreams that I wrote, and it's Dan kept insisting that ping pong was called tip out. And that's the end. That's the end.
And that's it? Now, do you remember writing that?
I don't remember writing that at all. And so the next one is Mario Kart in real life, but it was just running. So a race, a foot race is what that's called.
Race. Okay.
And I had this device with hands that picked up bowling balls and threw them at other people.
Now, how was that one recent?
That one was like last week. Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
Can you read us one that's like really old?
You're one of your old ones?
Oh, really old. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Let me scroll down here.
That's great, man.
Bowling balls.
Let me find a good one. Oh, this one has you in it, Mitch, actually.
Oh, nice.
Here we go.
This one,
was I naked?
This one has you in it. No, it's very long. So
okay, just read it.
There's probably names in it that don't make sense, but that's fine. So
okay.
It says, I was the bad guy. I don't know what that means. And Mitchell was chasing after me with his friends. That's funny because Mitch doesn't have any friends.
It's true. That's why I do this, is so I can make friends.
It was on, and I said, it was one of those things where I was almost leaping on all fours and flying. Yes. The dream shifted, and we were at a church, and it was suddenly the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, that's another common one that people have.
Zombie apocalypse or church?
Squidward walks out of the shadows, and an alien parasite jumps out of his brain and into the water. Then, so apparently this just changes all the time. Then we were on a boat, and my teacher was pregnant with a slug. That's weird. I felt like the dream was a trilogy of movies starring the guys from Shaun of the Dead.
Mitch has some sort of a game that
okay, so this play. I just looked up a huge list of what these animals mean when they're in your dream.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I'm going to have you and Jake try to guess what some of the things mean. So the top one, like this is like something I guess people have a lot, is an alligator. What does an alligator mean?
An alligator, let's see. What do you think, Jake? I'm going to say an alligator means danger.
I would say, I was going to say something like, I'll say something different.
Okay.
An alligator means fear of the water.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
I hadn't thought of that.
That's a good way to think about it.
Water.
Okay.
So if you see an alligator in your
dreams,
it means treachery, deceit, and hidden instincts.
Does that mean that I have it or somebody else has that?
Oh, it could mean there's treachery coming your way.
Okay.
It's happening in your life.
It's happening in my life. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I can see, Jake. Okay. So I was way off on that.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's an A through Z list. There's a lot so I'm just gonna
just pick some out.
I'm just gonna pick some out.
Pick
another one out of A here.
All right.
What does an armadillo mean in your dream?
Ooh, go ahead, Jake.
I got it. An armadillo means you are trying to protect yourself from harm. You are insulating yourself so you're not hurt.
I'm thinking that you are having relationship problems and somebody is being thick-skinned.
Oh, that could be it.
You guys are really close.
Yeah.
It says to see an armadillo in your dream represents your need to establish certain boundaries.
Oh, boundaries.
Okay.
You may be putting up walls between you and those who want to know you better.
Oh, I gotcha.
I've
never dreamed about an armadillo.
Here's a little thing. Yeah,
good.
I was going to say that just transparency-wise. I've never had a dream about an alligator or an armadillo.
Okay, well,
to be honest with you, I'd probably have a hard time picking an armadillo out of a lineup. If you put him in there with like a raccoon.
You've never seen an armadillo?
I've seen an armadillo, but
they're mythical creatures.
In my dream, no,
we don't get a whole lot of armadillos where
I
we're
would
at.
probably think it would be like an armadillo was like a bald porcupine or something like that.
It would be weird. weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What? Give me another one here. Give me another.
All right,
one.
we're moving down to the bees.
All right, here we go.
What is a badger?
Oh,
a badger shows up in your dream. What
badger,
does it mean?
It is an intense hatred of the state of Wisconsin. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that you just don't like. You got to go to Wisconsin. You don't want to.
You don't want to go there.
but
You need to.
You got to go. You ever done that? Where
No.
you next day you were hopping on a plane to Wisconsin? You were forced to go to
Does that ever happen
Wisconsin.
to you?
And next thing you know, bam, you're in REM sleep, dreaming about a badger.
I'm gonna have
About
to
a
say
badger.
I've never had the premonition or the want to.
It's a premonition,
Oh, that's
man.
common. Oh, that's common. The badger one, that's super common. I would say you dream about a badger, you just don't give an F.
Is that what it is?
To see a badger in your dreams signifies your persistence and final victory over your opponents.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
The
The,
dr- the
ultimate
dream
hatred
may
of
also-
Wisconsin.
The dream may also be a pun on how you're badgering others
Oh.
or vice versa.
Oh,
so your
badgering.
brain makes puns.
I never. Your brain makes puns.
Yeah, that's
That's
how cool
Never
your
thought
brain is,
about
man.
that. That explains the Cool Whip.
Just to joke
God.
yourself. It's telling a joke to itself. Think about that.
That explains the Mr. Peanut that stole my wallet
Yeah.
last night
Stole my
in my
wallet.
dream.
Stole
That
my
explains
wallet.
that.
He had a pack of Angry Guineas with him.
He was smoking a pack of Marlboros. I knew
I don't think
it.
I've ever dreamed about an animal. I'm gonna be real. I
You
don't
know, my
remember ever dreaming about an animal.
I don't think I have either.
my dream was a cashew walking out on me
Okay. I got
and saying he's gonna go get some milk.
it never,
What does that mean?
never came back.
I don't think he
He
did.
never
He never
back.
came
I
back.
I
don't
went to
think
get
he
some
never
ice
came
cream
back.
and never came back. I got left in the apartment by a cashew.
Okay.
All right, give us another one
What
here. I
does
guess
you see a crab in your dream?
Oh, that's easy.
A crab. What does it mean?
Crab. That's. I don't know. You go first, Jake. What do you
You
think?
just said it
You're
was easy.
Stingy with your money, like Mr. Krabs. You don't
Oh.
want to get rid of your money.
I was thinking of crabby. Just being crabby.
Oh,
Another
this.
pun. Your brain.
Or
full of
here's the other one. I'm gonna go deep. I'm gonna go deep right now.
Ooh, okay,
Everybody,
okay.
hit us with
Deep moment. Deep moment. You have so many things you're trying to juggle. So many things you think that you have to have all of these arms. It's almost like a Hindu.
Yeah.
What's that called, Jake? The
Oh,
multi-armed.
like I don't.
The multi-armed.
Like, is that Krishna?
The
I don't
Krishna.
know.
I don't know.
It's the
Krishna.
crab thing.
I
I've
know
got so many
nothing
things.
about-
I'm trying to juggle them with all my
Uh-huh.
hands. Is that it?
No.
Dang it.
to see it,
Dang it.
to see a crab in your dream signifies your perseverance and tenacity.
What the?
On an extreme note, you may be too clingy and dependent.
What the heck?
Ah.
Now here's the thing. Who comes up with this?
See,
We could come up with this list. We
Oh,
should come up with the
absolutely.
list of what does it mean when you see
oh man,
The-
it doesn't
the-
even go down all the
the
way to
Stay
Z, I
Puft
lied.
Marshmallow Man in your dreams. We should come up with that. Okay, what's next? We're a couple more. We got a couple more.
All right, this is. I'm gonna let me read this real quick. We're gonna
5 days
later.
Later.
Edit that in. That'd be funny. Okay, a ferret.
Oh man,
What does a ferret mean?
Mm.
To see a ferret in your dream
Dude, I'm not even.
symbolizes what?
These are all
A
like mythical creatures to me, man. I've
What?
heard of
It's
a ferret.
It's a ferret.
Is that like a little
Okay,
tiny rat type of thing with long tail? We see them at the
So
pet
a
stores.
ferret in your dream means you're just a dirty, wriggly, stinking, gross person that shouldn't be a pet to anybody.
That makes sense.
That's what it means.
I'm
that's
going
what
with
it
that.
means.
That's what I'm thinking with ferret
You're
means.
just gross.
You're a gross person.
You're gross.
You're just a sick,
So
gross,
if you see a ferret
wiggly
in-
person,
So if you see a ferret in your dreams, you need to change your lifestyle.
you need to
I
change
would think
your
you'd need
lifestyle
to
so
change
you're
your
less
lifestyle.
To see a ferret in your dreams.
Also, though, I would think that a ferret somehow indicates that somebody's keeping you around in the household just out of pity because you really don't belong there.
Mhm.
Because that's what I think of as a ferret.
because they
You know,
couldn't get a
that's-
dog.
Because they couldn't
that's
get a
kind of
dog.
Close.
Yeah, because that's what ferrets are. Everybody, you're
We're
like,
just really dumping
dude,
on ferrets.
why do you
man.
have a
I don't
ferret?
know.
Ferrets and badgers, man.
Don't
They're
hate
the
on
worst.
badgers. Don't hate on badgers.
Dude, badgers and ferrets, man.
You
They're
just
the
don't
worst.
like Wisconsin.
I just don't like.
You can't hate badgers.
What does it mean if I dream about a ferret?
To see a ferret in your dream symbolizes distrust and suspicion of others.
All right, one more, then I want to end with this because we haven't gotten to the meat. I mean, we haven't gotten to the meat to what the listeners want to hear about. We haven't got that yet. Give me one more because we haven't talked about the meat.
All right, we're gonna go ahead.
Just ferrets and badgers, man. Give me the.
Just ferrets.
If you give me a jellyfish, I'll tell you exactly what a jellyfish means, man.
Okay, we're gonna go with.
I know what a jellyfish means.
A dolphin.
Oh, a dolphin. That's easy. That I don't know. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I don't know what a dolphin means. You're chattery or something,
Ooh,
maybe? Maybe you talk too much.
A dolphin symbolizes your need to connect with other people.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
That's a good.
That's
I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
Even if it's not that,
Is that
that's what
right?
it should be.
Yeah.
Could be.
maybe
Dolphins
I
are
should find
social
maybe I
animals.
should find a way to edit this website.
You should edit that
to
website.
to see a
on
dolphin.
Wikipedia?
Yeah.
No. To see a dolphin in your dreams symbolizes spiritual guidance,
Spiritual guidance from a dolphin.
Intellect.
Spiritual.
mental attributes,
my
and emotional trust.
My spirit guide is a dolphin. That's dope.
Okay, so we've talked about all those things, and all those things we've talked about. Those recurring dreams that you have all the time of not being able to dial the phone or the zombie apocalypse. We've talked about these animals and all these things, but let's get down to the meat of it here. What are the nightmares about? Why do we have those?
Here's
a
question.
I mean,
that's in
I'm
the same
talking
vein.
about the ones that you wake up and maybe you pee just a little bit. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel like that has something to do with the state that you leave your brain in when you try to go to bed.
Oh.
Like after
Okay, yeah.
like after you watch a scary movie.
Okay.
And of course you're pretty freaked out. Your brain's overloaded with scary thoughts.
Okay.
And you decide to try to sleep it off.
But do you think that's the only time though?
It might. I
mean, I've had nightmares before when I didn't watch anything
when it's
scary.
like a really peaceful day and you just have a nightmare, you know.
It could be linked to adrenaline. Like if
okay.
if let's say your adrenaline's up just a little bit, it could cause your brain to create more intense and horrific dreams that seem more real.
Yeah. The scariest. Go ahead, Jake.
No, I was just a question to go off of that. Like, so everybody has nightmares that they've
I have
had,
one
but
that
like,
I will always remember.
Yeah, I do too. Go ahead.
Yeah. So how? But everyone is afraid of different things.
Sure.
You know. So like.
Well,
I
here's a
guess,
good example, and it's not a nightmare.
Say, you know.
But it's a good example that goes to the point that you're talking about, that everybody. This was a dream that is a recurring dream for people probably my age and maybe your age, I don't know. But if you were to talk to, I've talked to people my age, and their recurring dream is, like I said before, I'm getting ready to go to a class that either I can't find or I realize I haven't been there in 3 months. I haven't taken any tests. I haven't done anything, but I'm about ready to go into this classroom, and now I'm 3 months late.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a common dream. If you ask a lot of people, they will say, yep, I have that one. But the funny thing was, I asked 2 other people that I was sitting with after our last podcast, and they said, I have the same exact dream. And you know what was funny? Mine was a math class, his was a history class, and hers was an English class.
Oh, yeah, it could definitely.
It was the same dream, but a different subject. And I'm thinking, is that just a fear of, because, I didn't really have particular.
See, that can be linked to stress just as much as.
I guess mine could be numbers or money and history. I don't know what it could be. But anyway, you talk about that commonality. Everybody, I think, probably has that recurring nightmare. My recurring nightmare, ever since I've been 6 years old, and I remember laying in my bunk bed, because when I was a kid, I would never sleep with my face to the wall, just my back to the wall. My recurring nightmare was I got up, I opened up the curtain, and somebody's looking back at me from the darkness.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, it was always the tragedy mask from Comedy and Tragedy.
Oh,
you know what I'm
really?
talking? The drama mask.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The comedy and
Here's the
drama.
thing.
Oh yeah, I got it.
The frown and the smile.
Yeah.
It's a white mask.
Here's the thing. There could be like logical things you could go into.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That's what I'm talking about. Where the things in dreams that scare me aren't like stressful things. They're what you were talking about when you were trying to figure out that word.
Right.
They're strange things. They're like unsettling things that only your dream brain can create. You would never see them in any other scenario.
That's exactly right.
You know,
it's not usually
create that.
You know, we always have dreams about people. You know,
I've met people in my dreams before I've met them in real life.
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot. Like I'm in my dream and I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
So is that precognition?
Possibly.
Well, that would be the definition of precognition.
Yeah.
A cognitive event that happened to you psychologically, mentally, whatever you want to call it, that foretold something that was going to happen in the future. It doesn't have to be. What's the since Mitch has only watched Talladega Nights, what's the it's not Jeepers Creepers, the one where the one where she
Final Destination.
Final Destination.
Yeah, I've seen
that. They always see that, and then they stop it because death's coming after you, and they always stop something, and now death's going to find you another way.
Right.
There's always that thing of, I saw the whole thing in my mind. Now what do I do with it?
I just want to say my reoccurring nightmare. The Headless Horseman.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I was actually, the first time I ever had it, I was actually at my grandparents' house. I was at Mama and Papa's, and I was laying there, and I was walking through this really dark place with the classic scary black trees, and it almost had like a purgatory vibe to it.
Really?
And then I realized I was in a graveyard, classic.
Classic.
And then up on the hill, I saw this man with no head, and he was a headless horseman. And I don't know.
And you know,
I don't know if it was just because I can't remember if I watched like what's his name? What's the Headless Horseman, the movie, the old movie that's was made in early 2000s.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I had just watched that movie or if I had just watched something with the Headless Horseman. Either way, he wasn't even carrying his head either. He just had swords.
That's sicko.
Yeah, and then it scared me so bad when he was riding towards me, I woke up.
Really?
Yeah. And you know, those things stick with us like really intensely.
Yeah, because they just scare you. And I've had, and they seem to just wake you up, and they're with you.
Yeah, I think my reoccurring thing, I have stress dreams of trying to get to someone, and then I can't find my way, like I get lost.
Yeah.
That's like a stress dream, but I think my like reoccurring thing that happens to me in dreams that is like really unsettling to me is like something, it'll be a normal dream and everything will just stop and everything gets very quiet and people turn and look at me and their faces and their eyes are really, really big. It's very scary. I don't like it at all. But
okay, now here's it. I found it.
Found what?
Yeah.
I found the word. It's actually two words.
It's found it. Good.
It's called the uncanny
valley.
The uncanny valley.
Yes.
That's exactly what it's called.
I would have never thought of that.
The uncanny valley. I'm gonna.
Said uncanny.
You did say uncanny. You were so right, and I didn't catch on to that. So I'm gonna give you 50%. In aesthetics, the uncanny valley is a hypothesized relationship between the degree of an object's resemblance to a human being and the emotional response to such an object. And an example is this picture right here, and we'll put it up on there, but that's an example of an uncanny valley.
That chick?
Yes. Now, notice it isn't a chick. It's almost robotic. See how long her arms are?
Yeah.
And you look at her,
and it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't. You look at it and you say something's not right about it. It looks humanoid, but something's not adding up. Her
Right.
arms are too long, or whatever. Uncanny valley. That's what, to me, a lot of my dreams are. A lot of
Yeah,
my
me
dreams
too.
exist in
Me
the
too.
uncanny valley. So look it up. In fact, we'll put it on Facebook. I'll put in a link to the uncanny valley if you're listening.
If you dare.
If you dare, check out
To
the
go look
uncanny
at it.
valley.
Put a link in the description.
We'll put a link in the description to what the uncanny valley is.
Yeah.
Um,
And my question is,
mhm.
I really am just curious as to why our brains do that.
I know
You
that's
it's
that's
just-
that's the thing that
yeah. I don't know.
our brains, and I think that's probably how we can leave it.
Yeah. I don't
if you
know.
talk
It's
about
very
it,
scary.
our dreams.
You know what I think?
What's that?
I think.
What do you think, Mitch?
I think the government.
Oh,
Here it comes, baby.
here it comes,
Here it
I
comes.
think
baby.
birds aren't
Conspiracy
real.
time. Conspiracy time. Here it comes.
Yep.
Straight at you.
All right.
The government is using some sort of technology to monitor our dreams, and they send in these horrific thoughts to see how we mentally handle them.
Dude, I am so
Ooh,
glad you said that. We're going to
prepare us.
finish with dreams, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next week.
And
So
I like
let me-
so they're just testing us.
Let me ask
constantly.
you this,
We're in the
then.
Matrix,
We
Uncle
are.
Deke.
We could be. Let me ask you this then, and we'll end on this then. Are dreams paranormal?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're paranormal.
I think to an extent they are, because if people are having precognition dreams,
Okay.
I feel like, I mean, that's the whole
okay.
I've brought that whole thing up where
I would
seeing
say-
the future
yep.
and seeing dead people and being able to communicate with dead
Yep.
people is
I would say yes and no.
I take
Dreams?
mine back. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say sometimes.
Sometimes dreams are normal.
That's such a
Dreaming
lame
is normal.
answer.
Everybody dreams,
That's
and we
very
all
lame.
seem to have a lot of the same dreams. Dreams where you see something happen and the next day it happens, that's outside the normal because not everybody does it. So I think there is this whole, I think you could go for hours and hours and hours and years and years and years. People get their degrees and study just dreams. It is, there's the end of that. So,
SD card full.
SD card full. Okay. We have to finish this out. You know what? We can finish it out just on audio.
That's fine.
We'll finish it out on audio. It'll be the backwards of what happened last time.
Yeah,
It'll
I
be
know.
the reverse.
Last time
I
we
a
had
dream
seven.
about
We
it.
had 7 minutes of just audio with no video, and at the end of this one, now we have 7 minutes
Yeah,
of
the
audio
last
and no
7
video.
minutes
Yeah.
of just
Okay,
audio.
so our SD card filled up,
Our SD card filled.
and we
up.
don't have a replacement. Man, we really got.
We do have a replacement. I just don't want to. I can dig it out.
No, it's fine.
Okay. I mean, it's just right there.
It's okay.
Okay, we're gonna finish this up because we're
'Cause
coming to the end of our hour.
Because I started talking about the government. They got us, Uncle Deke.
It is.
They're listening.
Did you
True,
see just
man.
what happened? We started talking about the government. Anyway, I think dreams are an incredible thing. Down in the description, if you didn't get a chance, tell us some of your dreams. Tell us if you started a dream journal and maybe put some of those in. Maybe we'll get Jacob to put in a couple more down in the description.
Oh, it's gonna keep going, man. It's great.
Yeah, Jake, it was great to have you here.
It was
Thanks
good
for
to have
having
you,
me.
brother.
But here's what we're going to do next week, because I have been, we talk about the paranormal, and here on the Pain Train we talk about
Bigfoot?
anything that is paranormal, anything not conspiracy, but anything that you look at and say something's up.
That's strange.
That is strange.
We look for the strange.
And something strange has been happening to me, well, for the past 15 years, but
For a very
something,
long time.
and I'm not kidding about this, and we're going to test it.
'Kay.
Next week, we're going to test it. I swear to you, this has happened to me, and I've had witnesses. This hasn't happened to just, ask your sister. Was it your sister? I can't remember. Oh, no, it was my daughter. It was your sister.
It was someone's sister.
It's happened so much. It's so freaky.
What is it?
I'm not online. I'm not Googling or anything. I haven't Googled it.
Uh-huh.
I haven't done anything about it, okay? It's not like I've looked it up and I've got some sort of cookie that's going on or something like that. I've simply talked about it.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Oh,
next
yeah.
thing, it's in my string.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
And
everyone's had that.
this isn't just oh, look, there's an insurance thing. This isn't.
So things that I have searched up on.
Well, I can
on
understand
Google
searching Google.
Has shown up on my Instagram.
I've seen that's easy to understand. I get that. That's a cookie. That's fine.
But just talking about.
I'm talking about. I haven't looked at it. I haven't searched it. I haven't done anything, and it's not only come up. Are you ready? It's not only come up on my phone in my Facebook. It comes up in commercials.
What?
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Like TV?
We're going to
I
test
think
it.
something's up too.
Because
I agree.
if you're talking about video cameras on your phone, video cameras on
so
your...
So you could be potentially talking about the dark side of the web, like the dark side of technology, to where they're listening to us.
Don't even say it, Mitch. Everything is listening. What are you doing?
Dude, that's one of the things we're going to... Well, we don't have a browser to get to the dark web. But I can find
Jake,
one.
Can you get us to the dark web?
I would rather not.
I would rather not. The dark web is where TikTok was founded, man.
The dark web only exists in my dreams. Let's be real.
I think that's what we should talk about next week. I'm gonna do a test, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna.
I like it how we find out what we're gonna talk about next week. Just by the way the end of this one
I am
goes.
telling you this. I am dead serious that this is a thing. Hey, thanks for listening to the Pain Train. Jacob, thanks for taking time.
Hey, thanks, Jake.
Jacob's in an undisclosed location where our time is different than his time. He's looking tired.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Jake, have sweet dreams, buddy.
Hey, I see what you did there.
I'll try.
You want to add anything in, Mitch?
Just go and check out our Facebook, check out our YouTube.
Subscribe.
Do it.
Hit that like button. Hit that bell.
Do it twice.
Hit that bell.
And,
do it twice.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. We'll talk to you later. See ya.